Hello, fifth graders. Today I'm going to be showing you what we're going to be doing for our watercolor unit. And so what you're going to get from me today is you're going to get a large piece of cardboard from me, and you're also going to get a long piece of paper. And so the first step, always name and class code on the back. And so what we're going to do is, to this paper, is we're going to create a tape resist for this paper. So at the end, it's going to have like a nice clean border. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to tape your card or your paper to the cardboard. And what I would do is I would put like half of the tape on the paper, half on the cardboard. And then what you want to do, you don't want to rub it on the cardboard that much, but you do want to rub it on your paper just a little bit because we want a nice white border all the way around. And so I'm going to finish taping my sides and then I will get started. All right, so now I got that down. What I want you to do, I don't want you to put your name on the cardboard itself because I'm going to be using these pieces of cardboard for years to come. So somewhere on the tape, just put your name. So I put my name down there. All right, so now we're going to divide this paper up into sections, 5 different sections to represent the 5 different watercolor techniques that we did or that we practiced. And so I'm just going to make a little like mark, but you can draw a line all the way across if you want to, but if you do, keep it very light. So there's 1 section, 2, it's okay if they're not even, no worries, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5. 4 and 5 are right here. Awesome. All right, so it's up to you what order you do this in. I have my little post-it: resist, wash, dry brush, sponge, wet and wet. I'm going to activate the watercolors that I want to use. So I would recommend using analogous colors. Let's say analogous. Let's say analogous again. Okay. All right, so analogous colors are the colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel or on the paint palette. The only color I don't want you to use is black because we're going to be covering up, or in the foreground there's going to be a tree in front. So I think I'm going to stick with warm colors for this. So I'm going to activate my red, my orange, and my yellow. Maybe my green, maybe my purple, because purple is actually right next to red on the color wheel. I was looking for my mini color wheels, but couldn't find one. But trust me, it's right next to each other with red on the color wheel. All right, so let's see. I think for the first one, I think I'm going to do a wash. So for the wash, remember you want a flat tip brush. And for the wash, you can have different colors in the wash. Just remember to get it very wet and to do horizontal strokes because we want it to look as flat and even as possible because that is the definition of a wash. I think I'm going to add some red in there. Maybe overlap it a little bit, make it kind of like a red violet. There we go. Nice, so got purple or violet and red on there. All right, and so then I'm gonna go up and do a different technique in each section. All right, now that I have my 5 techniques, I have my wash, wet and wet, sponge, dry brush, and resist. I am going to go put this on the drying rack. Don't take the tape off yet. We'll take the tape off when it's dry. All right, now that everything is dry, I'm going to take the tape off. And so when you take the tape off, make sure you be gentle, go nice and slow. And ooh, it is satisfying. It bled a little bit into right there, but I think that looks great. So take the tape off, and then I'll show you, or I'll talk to you about making the tree. All right, so when you make your tree, you want to think about what mood your tree is going to portray. For mine, I'm going to do just kind of like a regular tree, maybe have some leaves. It's either, like, I'm not sure if it's going to look spooky or if it's going to look peaceful, so we'll kind of see. So you guys are going to get to choose whatever tree you want to do, like a palm tree or a willow tree, things like that. Up to you how you do it, but it's going to be a silhouette, so it's going to be all black on the inside. What I would recommend starting it off in pencil and then darkening it with Sharpie. And one thing to think about when you're making your tree, like if you're doing a lot of branches like I'm gonna do, trees always go from thick to thin. So like I would never have like a super thick branch out here, thicker than this right here, because the tree, it goes thick to thin. You also want to try to have your tree go at least into the second section below, or the second like watercolor section below. We don't want like a little itty bitty tree down here with nothing up in the top of the composition. All right, now that I'm done, but just some things that I ran into along the way, like I noticed like on my wet and wet, my Sharpie was getting kind of dried out. You know, just give Sharpies a break, kind of trade it out for a new one. Now that I'm kind of looking at it, like I thought it was gonna like turn creepy because it kind of looked like a fall kind of background and kind of like twisty trees, but since I added like the little leaves and I added this like little bunny silhouette, to me it seems like kind of like a magical mood, just because of like the stars in the sky and kind of like the sun setting. So that's the kind of mood I think it kind of gives up. And the last step would be to sign your name at the bottom. Up to you if you want to include it in the white or in the paint. But then you are done. Thanks for watching.